The Ghana Cocoa Processing Company has shut down 2 of its 3 factories, and it's saying that 80 workers have been asked to go on indefinite leave. There have been conflicting reasons for the closure, with workers alleging the company is cash-strapped.
Company now, they are handicapped because you can say whatever you want to say, unless, of course, a savior comes from somewhere.
The workers fear it could lead to a permanent shutdown of the place, considering the numerous challenges facing the company. But management of CPC say the shutdown is for routine maintenance work.
Engineers are not going to come next year. They are coming this week. So if we ask the workers to go home from yesterday or from today, and we are expecting the engineers to come tomorrow, it's not for.
It is unclear what the reasons are for this shutdown beyond the routine maintenance work. But one thing is clear, that there hasn't been enough dialogue between management and the 80 workers who are supposed to proceed on leave during this period. So who is not telling the truth? Management of CPC or staff of the company? Is the CPC indeed shutting down for routine maintenance, or it is cash-strapped? Are workers going to be called back as promised? This is today's big story with me, Aisha Brian. 80 workers of the cocoa producing company of Ghana has shut down 2 of its 3 factories, and termites asking 80 workers of that company to go home and proceed on routine maintenance. Workers seem unhappy about the decision and are unconvinced the company will recall them. CPC staff, according to them, there is a letter that was sent to them, and the communication to them did not go down well. They feel the company is using a strategy to sack all of them, and because they are cash-strapped. We can now listen to some members of some staff of the company.
Company now, they are handicapped because you can say whatever you want to say, unless, of course, a savior comes from somewhere to inject. We need capital to inject to this company so that, as for beans, it is there. You know, that if you don't have money, I mean, cash in the hand, back the ground. Those who have money, they are working. If you like go to the free zone board, you see a lot of cocoa processing company working. But here we are. So that is our problem. So for me, if things are not moving well, how can you even get welfare issues for your workers?
Indeed, the arrangement, the understanding between the ICU and management, if should the maintenance exercise even exceed your leave days, then it means that it must also be catered for appropriately. So they are just using the maintenance period, okay, to ask workers only in that section. Not all the workers are going. The factory is not completely shut down as the message went out. No, not at all. So the group of workers which are asked to stay home for the maintenance period is just to allow the maintenance to be carried out, and it is like the leave days, and it will be paid for. They will be coming back after the end of the maintenance exercise.
And when is the end of the maintenance exercise?
You cannot tell exactly, but this is not the first time it has happened in cocoa processing company. It is not an actual an annual ritual though, but it is not abnormal in the scheme of things in the factory here. No, not at all. Week, it could be 2 weeks.
Did you ask management how long this maintenance period would take?
Like I told you, we have been in relationship for a very long time, and we are very much aware that if it is a temporary shutdown for maintenance exercises, it doesn't go beyond certain time. You don't specify the time because the maintenance can take 2 or 3 weeks. But it is not an exercise in futility. It is not an exercise that goes forever. No, not at all.
According to a letter from the company to its staff, the shutdown took effect from Monday, January 25, 2016. Portion of the letter reads, due to operational challenges, management has decided to temporarily shut down the 2 cocoa factories from Monday, January 25, 2016 until further notice. The letter further directed the staff of the affected departments to stay home as part of their annual leave during the period of the shutdown. We can now listen to public relations at the company Echo Rule in an earlier interview with Joy News.
Routine in the sense that every year we shut down for some work to be done. Now, so we were expecting to shut down last December for this maintenance to go on. Unfortunately, we were not able to do that because we were involved in some contracts which had to be completed before the end of the year. But this extended up to sometime, I think, the first week of this year. Now, in the course of executing that contract, we came up against so many challenges, and that explained why we couldn't, explains why we couldn't finish the contract before the end of the year. So based on those problems that we had, then there's a need to do a major shutdown maintenance. This maintenance involves not only our own engineers. We bring in some machine manufacturers, the suppliers of the machine, experts from there to come and help us. Now, these experts are not in now. They are not able to tell us how much time they're going to take to do unless they are in to strip off the machines, and they will be able to tell us. In the meantime, we cannot use the machine, so we cannot ask the workers to stay on. Okay? So if we say we don't know when it's going to happen, this is when it's going to end, this is the explanation.
Because
when the engineers are in, I can tell you that they might even say, oh, this one doesn't need to go even beyond 1 week. And that's it. If that is the period that they will require to undertake the maintenance, that's it. After that, we call the workers. But after the time they were going home, we do not know.
And you see, the reason many are asking questions, Mr. Rule, about saying that because the engineers are not in and so you cannot put a specific time to it, raises eyebrows. Because the cocoa processing company is listed on you have investors who look at this company and want to take decisions based on the things you do. And so will it be prudent for an investor looking at a company he's invested in say that we're shut down, we cannot tell for how long it will be?
No, but the engineers are not going to come next year. They are coming this week. So if we ask the workers to go home from yesterday or from today, and we are expecting the engineers to come tomorrow, it's not forever. It's just for a short while. It's only that we cannot. If we write the letters to the workers and we say they are coming back 1 week, and after 1 week we are not done, then what do you think will happen? So for me, it's not a big deal. It will become a big deal when we are taking an extended period. It's going into 3 months, 4 months, then it's a big problem. But for now, if we don't know, we don't know. That's all that there is to it. The people are coming. We are just waiting for them to come. And for all you know, when they come, they will say, okay, we have some beans, let's try it. Trying it will even require the workers to come back and help us to do it. So there's no big deal about this issue at all.
Okay. Now, since you mentioned the matter of beans, let's deal with what some of the workers raised briefly here. They mentioned that the company is unable to buy the beans as one of the reasons why this shutdown is important. How true is this?
That is not true. I've told you that it's maintenance that we're going to undertake. It's not a question of beans. If we don't have beans, why would I forget about that one? If we don't have beans and the machines are ready to available for processing, why would I say something else? But as at now, the issue is not a question of beans. Okay, it's not a question of beans. In fact, I've been told that we do have beans in the tank. But because of the problems that we have, and then the workers know that we don't always know well with the machines.
What exactly is the problem with the machines?
I cannot tell you. The engineers will tell you that what you call it, some of the presses are, okay, some of the presses are not working. Some few machines are not working, and that is why we are bringing in the engineer.
Okay. Now, I've been looking up some of the financials for the CPC since 2012 this year, and for some who are listening to this story and are wondering what kind of impact this will have on many, your financial records since 2012 don't look too good. It looks as though the company is struggling. What seems to be the problem?
There are a number of problems, and I don't want to discuss because we are on the stock exchange. We go to the stock exchange every year. We go to the shareholders meeting and present our report. If you like, I can forward to you a number of our annual reports for you to go through. The problems we are all dealt with there. I'm not going to discuss this on the phone.
Why not, sir? Because there are people who are interested. This is a company that a lot of people have interest in. If you're producing chocolate for me to eat and you're having issues with your finances, clearly people will want to know.
Well, I will not discuss it. The shareholders have a forum for discussing this. If people are worried, they should be worried about whether they're going to have chocolate on the market down.
Okay.
But for the financials, I will not discuss this one.
Okay, so within this period, is it that we'll still get the confectionaries we need for the local market?
The confectionery is in production. You can come up and come to the factory and come and see them working. They are in production. I heard one of your reporters saying that the place seemed dead. Nothing is happening. Yes, some workers are going home. And these workers, the two factories, those who are going, is about 60 people. If you add a few support staff, they will not even be up to 80. We are 271. So how come, if 80 people go, then the factory is dead? It's not dead. The confectionery factory is processing, and definitely chocolate will never run short on the market.
Okay, so within this period that the factory will be closed, what will be the impact on the company? And I'm talking money here. How much money will you lose as the two of your factories are shut down?
I've told you that every year this is factored in our own process, that you have a period that will have to shut down and do maintenance. That is all that there is. I've not. This is a normal shutdown. We should have done it in December, and we didn't do it. We're doing it now. And the workers will tell you that December, we didn't shut down. We worked throughout. We worked throughout, except the 25th and 1st, which we didn't work. All other days we worked. Normally, we would have shut down maybe around 23rd and come back in the second week or so of January. So this is what we are doing. It's not different from that time.
Okay. I know you wouldn't want to share the financials with us, and I do understand because you say you're not in a position to. But for the company, you say you have a lot of challenges. Tell us a bit about it.
Say again?
I'm asking, you're saying the company is going through a number of challenges, the Cocoa Person company. Can you tell us what kind of problems you're going through?
I said we're going through a number of challenges. Of course, there's no company in Ghana which is not going through challenges. I've told you that some of the machines are not working, functioning efficiently. And that is why we're bringing in, what do you call it?
Is that the only problem you have?
For now, I think so.
You don't have any financial problem? The energy crisis has not affected your operations at all?
That is not the issue now.
I'm asking a very direct question here. I hear you about the routine maintenance, but I just want more details here about what the problems are.
No, I will not discuss any such things. If it's another forum, yes, but I won't tie it on to people going on leave because we are doing maintenance.
There you go. So you heard Echo Rule. He is a public relations manager of the cocoa producing company. And you've heard that a lot of the questions that was asked about finances, and which were the very questions raised by the staff who think that the company is using this as a strategy to lay them off, what were not answered by the public relations officer. Well, let's do more analysis, but I must say, trying to reach the local union chairman, Kingsley Owusu, of the CPC to further discuss this issue, but we're not getting him. We're still trying to get him to join into this conversation. Right now, I want to speak with an ADR labor practitioner and civil engineer. He's no other person than Ben Atta. Thanks so much for joining us on today's Big Story.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You listened to the public relations manager, and you could tell, and you listened to the staff of CPC, you could tell there's a break in communication. I mean, these people, the feedback is not good. And what we always say is that some of these issues, if not handled well, can escalate and can lead to other things that we don't want to see. So what really, I mean, it's not a big deal. The company says we're going on a routine maintenance. What's the big deal about this? So it looks like the staff do not have trust, or they've lost trust in management. Why is all of these arising?
It's a big deal in many respects, especially when it comes to labor. When especially they have witnessed it before. It's like we have seen it all before. That's the body language of the workers. For example, if you look at the Labor Act Section 9, it is the basic responsibility of an employer to provide raw materials, machinery, equipment, tools, and to also pay the agreed remuneration that has been agreed on in the conditions of contract at the particular place, at the particular time.
Right.
And aside that, it is also a responsibility of an employer in Ghana under the Labor Act to open channels of communication. What it means is that management labor cooperation ought to be on the highest pedestal.
Right.
So if there's a break in communication and you intend to do something and you have not explained it well to the workers, definitely you should expect varied interpretations.
Right.
I have personally called some friends who are working in that company, and I've also verified as to whether it is just a routine maintenance or not. But I'm afraid, yeah, it's, and the workers have read into it. They can see their jobs going on the line. I mean, on the line. So basically, they are just doing what they have to do to protect their employment. But I want CPC to understand that nothing bars them from giving the details to workers.
Exactly.
It is their employment right. It's their contractual right. It's not a management prerogative that we want to tell you this, we don't want to tell you this.
Right.
As far as it has to do with their terms and conditions of employment, they must know, and not just be told. It has to be given to them with particulars in written format, with every detail. Now, when you ask somebody to go on annual leave, we know under the Labor Act, you have a minimum of 15 working days. But you are telling people to go on leave, and you have not told them when the leave will expire. So what must they do with their lives?
Exactly so. And that's why I see a break in communication, because if you agree with the worker, that's why I said this is, I mean, it shouldn't raise. I mean, I want to go for routine maintenance. It will last for 2 weeks. Go for leave. After 2 weeks, come back. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. But if you say indefinite, till further notice, that actually will
that is very intimidating enough to workers.
And I've always said that the workers, of course, they also have a reason for thinking the way they're thinking. The workers have worked with them, they are insiders, and they know the nitty-gritties of the company. So if they're making some of these claims, for instance, one of them said the company, not one of them, I mean, a lot of them believe that the company is cash-strapped, and it's using this as a strategy to lay them off. Shouldn't we listen to what they're saying?
For example, if this is a strategy for laying them off, it will backfire. And I would advise the management of CPC not to adopt some of these practices, because it will be very unfair, you know, on the part of them to treat the workers this way. Right. If really there is a need to make those workers redundant, declare them as redundant, and make sure that you have negotiated with them or their union as to or help them find alternative work. Right. If you intend to lay them off as part of your redundancy, program, then you need to notify under section 65 and 66, you need to notify the chief labor officer that this is what I want to do. You need to also give them a notification of not less than 3 months. But all of a sudden, they are told that there is going to be a routine maintenance. The point is, has the routine maintenance been on a program? If yes, then they ought to have known. By all this, time, they should have known ahead, or they should have been informed ahead. It shouldn't come to them as a surprise. But now, from the few guys I spoke to, it's a surprise, and they know it's one of the quote-unquote mafia tactics at the workplace to lay workers off. And the unfortunate thing here is that even as they go on leave, if you really want to lay them off, then do it earlier. Because so as they are on leave, they will be collecting pay. And they will be thinking that... And you are not allowed to diminish their terms and conditions of service. So what it means is that the indefinite period for the maintenance, they are also supposed to be paid. So if you think you have a financial challenge and there's a need to declare some redundancy or a number of them, do it quick, let them be aware, so that whatever that is due them is paid. But if they should go and stay home for 6 months, they are entitled to their full pay, only to go back and tell them after 6 months that
we've laid you off.
I've laid you off.
I mean, that's pretty bad.
That would be too much cost
and that would be too much cost for the company. So, of course, the earlier the better. Let me play the devil's advocate.
Do so.
In case they're using these tactics to lay them off, and as the workers are suspecting, in case it happens so, what next for the workers? Or in case the maintenance period goes forever, what next for these workers?
Unfortunately, the upper hand of an employer is so strong in Ghana, but there are certain remedies. Workers, under some of these circumstances, have the right to report to the National Labour Commission of unfair termination. And when it is determined that their termination has then they will be entitled to compensation, as will be ordered by the National Labour Commission. So that's the window of opportunity. But I'm not for it. Dialogue and negotiation for this matter is the best choice. That you don't wait for matters to go off, and because by the time workers will be agreed, go to court and secure a judgment for their compensation, or go to National Labour Commission and secure the compensation, it will be a huge loss. It will lead to almost a collapse of the company. So it's fair, and we all understand the challenges of our times, that even small employers, when I say small, just for the sake of our listeners, the small companies, they are laying, people have 2 workers, 1 has gone home, 5 workers, 2 have left, and you have huge numbers of workers. It is normal with the exigencies of time that some will be laid off. So don't let them feel like they have been victimized. Let them know that because of our challenges, our situation, we will not be able to keep you here. You cannot also say that the new machines that you are coming to install or whatever, their skills have become obsolete.
Of course.
You cannot claim that.
It could be one of the plans.
Yes, it could be. It could be.
Installing the machine, they could say that we don't need your services because you cannot work on these new machines. And therefore, then it means they don't want to pay them compensation.
Then the other option here is that it is also obligatory for an employer to train and retrain the workers. So again, you will not be allowed, if the matter is referred to National Labour Commission, to lay off workers because you believe their skills have become obsolete. It is first your obligation to train them to fit, or to find them an alternative place to fit. Other than that, you and I, after I finished university first degree about almost 17 years ago. Then people could say that my skills have become obsolete. So my first employers were supposed to train me and develop my human resource. And for every new thing, new program that came, they were doing it. And that was very nice to do. It is a right of every worker to be and retrain. So if they are waiting for an opportunity for such a new installment to come out to say that the skills for which we employ them have become obsolete. Right. It will not wash.
The worker could also take them on.
Oh yes, it will be very disastrous. It's not a plea that anybody will take.
That's what I'm foreseeing, and you rightly said, if they want to lay them off, like the workers are sensing, they better do it quickly, because it will be at the expense of the company. If you want them to go and stay longer at home, you pay them,
yes,
and afterwards you're going to lay them off. And who knows how they're going to take this, because if you don't do it the right way, it will lead to other issues. But of course, the issues do not end with workers. This company is listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange, and of course, this is going to affect
its image.
Exactly, and a whole lot. Let's listen to an interview with a stockbroker on how this is going to affect CPC on the Ghana Stock Exchange.
CPC is a listed company, as you said, and so all the activities that happen to the company has an effect on the share price on the Ghana Stock Exchange. Given the rumors that are around CPC at this time, we would expect that those who are interested in buying and those who are interested in selling would react to the information that is available in the public. Yeah. Given that this story has just broke today, we are looking for the reaction that will take place on the market. We would expect that the management of CPC should be making an announcement on the market with regards to the issues at stake right now. No announcement has been made on the Ghana Stock Exchange as we speak about the challenges that the company is going through at the moment. But we would expect that any such activity, which is of price-sensitive information, should be made, available to the market via a press release. Well, the stock exchange itself has the power to suspend trading in securities. If there's a certain rumor around a stock, they can suspend trading and then go and find out if this rumor is true. So that remedy is available to the management of the Ghana Stock Exchange in the event that the company does not issue a public announcement by itself.
Exactly.
Given that this may have seeped into the public domain already, investors themselves can also react to the news if they do believe what they are hearing from the company.
So you heard what the Ghana Stock Exchange is saying and how it's going to affect the cocoa processing company for the strategies they're using right now. We're talking about the shutdown of the CPC and the 80 workers who have been asked to proceed on leave whilst routine maintenance goes on in these factories, and the agitations of the workers who believe or who are sensing danger and think that their work is on the line. They feel that management is not telling them the truth and that this will lead to a permanent layoff. And they feel that will not augur well. And you've heard a labor practitioner saying that the company should tread cautiously because that could cost them a lot if they decide to toe that line. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Thanks so much, Ben Arthur, for joining us on today's Big Story.
Thank you for having me.
Good evening.